Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Schmidt Lavelle. My name is Tom Lavelle, and I am always is accompanied by Mr. Timothy Schmidt.
Let's go!
I came up with a little rhyme just in my head a little bit. Welcome to the show that's cooler than an ice cube, hotter than hell, better than the best. It's Schmidt and Lavelle. What do you think, Timmy?
Let's keep trying.
I was told that I need to bring a little more energy to the entrance. For those of you that don't listen to Jabroni Drive, we'll say I come in hot to start that show. Am I right, Timmy?
You do. You come in real hot. You're
And it's
on fire.
And people will say that it it gets people fired. They're listening to the show and they enjoy that. And they'd like me to bring that to Schmidt and Lavelle. I don't know how to exactly do it. I'm sure I'll figure it out at some point.
I think it's just the fact that you have a hate the face. I think people don't like your face.
Right. And that's a lot of it. I've had to deal with that for a long time. I've had a hated face since I can't remember when, when I was younger, my face wasn't so hateable. I would say it started around probably like adult teeth, I would say, when I lost my kids' teeth and went to adult teeth, get a little bit more hateable face. What do you think?
Yeah, I think people just want to punch your face. You got one of those faces,
Speaking of, I'll tell you what, Timmy, to be completely honest, it's been kind of a difficult day. I think I was telling you that in the pre-show that we were doing, and it's difficult when you're married and you have kids and life is going on. We're both working class people. We're, I guess, going through this struggle we call life, Tim, and sometimes you say and do things that maybe annoy your significant other. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I'm coming from a guy that's divorced. Yeah, I think that I've had more success with that than you, since you're still married. Um,
Well,
the idea is the idea is you try to get through this thing called marriage, right? To see who can really annoy the other person less. That's really what I think the goal is during marriage, right? And
I don't know. My
some
whole life's been about annoying people, really. I've always been an annoyer. I'll always be an annoyer. I love One of my favorite things to do when I know something annoys somebody, and it's like you're aware, Timmy, when you're aware that you're doing something that annoys somebody, don't you like automatically kind of keep doing it to kind of push those buttons?
yeah, it depends on what kind of person you are, Tom.
Not you? No?
Look,
You're an annoyer.
it depends on the person. You got to know the person. You got to know what buttons you can push. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun to push those buttons, especially when you know what your limits are. You
Right.
know how far you can push that person. So,
Right.
and it becomes, there's a line where it becomes, from annoying to, all right, I want to kill this person.
Which is
and,
even better.
and and you have to dance on that line.
Right. And that's not necessarily what happened, today. And not that like anything really happened, but you're working hard. We're both, tired. We got two young kids. We're trying to corral them, and sometimes it's hard to work together as a team. Somebody says something and maybe you're like, I don't like the tone of that. What do they mean by that? Maybe they mean nothing. It's just, it's just life. As long as if you hang out with someone long enough, eventually, I guess that seems to happen. Tim, we got a lot of stuff to talk about on this week's show. We're going to be talking about how you were down at a Day at the Bay, a big event down in Wildwood. We're going to be talking about the Phillies, the Sixers. They got a lot of things going on with the Sixers and their organization and their players. We're going to be talking about the MLS, the Philadelphia Union, Ikea, And let's jump into right into something that kind of annoys me. One of the things that set me off today, as the listeners of the show are probably aware, we are big wrestling fans, right? And a major event is coming to Philadelphia at WrestleMania next year in April. First time WrestleMania has been in Philadelphia in 25 years. So, as big wrestling fans, we're very excited about the Showcase of the Immortals finally coming to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Well, the pre-sale tickets went on this morning, right? They went on sale this morning. If you had the pre-sale code, and it's a whole thing. You got to sign in. You got to get into the waiting room. You got to wait for the pre-sale code, but you're not getting the pre-sale code. Your buddy's going to get the pre-sale code because he knows someone that's getting him the pre-sale code that he's going to give to you that you're going to then try to use to buy these tickets. And then they put you in a queue and you're refreshing. You refresh. You finally get something that says you like enter the pre-sale code. What's the pre-sale code? Because it's not working on my computer. I've got to use my phone. I go on my phone. I put in the pre-sale code. You're in. Now all these tickets are popping up and you go to buy, you're like, okay, these ones look okay. Here's the price. You click on it. That ticket's sold. Oh, shoot. Let me go to another. Let's get that ticket sold. And then finally you get one. Okay, that's about what I want to get. I'm spending an astronomical amount of money. You got 3 minutes to put in your information. You better have your card already on file. Do you agree to all these fees? Do you agree to the service charge? You've got 30 seconds, 29 seconds, 28 seconds. Fine, I agree. The sale goes through. The relief. I got tickets. Finally, I got tickets at face value, the best price I can get. Then you go and you look at your receipt, Timmy, for 6 tickets. What would you say the service fee total should be?
I would say, I mean, anywhere between $20 and maybe $35. I would assume, but where this story is going, I feel that it might not be in that ballpark at all.
Timmy, there was a $4 service fee for like a processing fee. There was a stadium fee of $7, and then there was a service fee, $104. $104, and not just a flat $104. If you think, okay, 6 tickets, $104, whatever. NBD, no big deal, right? No. All these fees were per ticket. That's 11 plus $115 per ticket in service fees alone. Tim, I'm asking you, what service did they provide?
Wait, so you paid $690 in just service fees?
Just service fees, Tim.
Dude, are you out of your goddamn mind?
Yes.
The hell's wrong with you? I didn't even realize that you bought the tickets.
Yeah, I know. Well, here's the thing. I think I already have tickets. You know what I mean? But the tickets that we have, hopefully, and I'm pretty sure we have them. The problem with those tickets is that they're very last minute a lot of times. Okay. And I promised my son, who is 6 years old, that I would take him to WrestleMania. I made this promise, and there's no way that if something happens that I'm missing WrestleMania. Okay. If the tickets fall through or whatever. So I just said, let me go on and get some just in case, and I'll have my tickets go on. Timmy, right now I'd like to do something. I'm so fed up with Ticketmaster and their service fees and the ridiculous service fee and the amount of money that I'd like to put a hex, a curse on Ticketmaster. I curse you, Ticketmaster, to no longer be the master of tickets. I want you to be the servant of tickets. I want you to serve the people, and I hope you go out of business. I hope you lose it all and crumble and burn to the ground. Ticketmaster, burn in HE double hockey stick.
Well, that's not going to happen, but I mean, you can will it all you want. The problem is, I think they're one of the biggest players in the game, Tom, and I don't see that going down.
I'm using all my spiritual energy, Tim. I'm sending it. I'm harnessing all the energy from the Schmidt Lavelle heights. I feel it pumping through my blood. And we're going to send this out. And Ticketmaster, you will
Perish. It's not bad. It's not bad. Look, I don't hit
That took a lot
concert.
out of me, Tim.
Yeah. I don't hit concert venues like that. I don't do major shows or anything like that. So I don't really have the experience that you have. But it makes zero sense. There needs to be a breakdown on exactly what the service is that is being provided. Because if you're telling me that it's $115 for a computer to go, okay, this is an order. All I have to do is approve it and then move forward. Like, what is that? I mean, there's not somebody on the other end looking at every single order that comes in, right? This is already calculated. There's a huge motherboard that runs Ticketmaster. There's probably people that oversee it. There's probably help desk people that call, that you talk to, right? That you go through that whole process with. But for the most part, what is the 115 that you're paying for? Tell me exactly what that is.
Right.
And I'll be okay with it. If you're telling me there's 25 people working on my goddamn order, yeah, maybe they all need to be paid a certain amount of money that equals up to $115. But guess what? There's not. It's a computer. It's running on its own. That's why you get error messages all the time. That's why it's instant service, because it's a computer program. So
It's Chat
I get
GPT. You know what I mean? They're the ones, they got some freaking AI doing the whole thing, I'm sure now.
I get your frustration with it, and it
And
just
that's
makes no
per
sense.
ticket, Tim.
Well, this
Think
is
about
just
that. 80,000 tickets, right? And this was a lower level seat, and it's not on the floor. It's in like that lower 100 section ever. So it's not on the floor. It's not on the like the second level floor. It's above that. Okay. And that's $115 for, so let's say it averages, maybe say the fees average to, because on the floor they're going to be more. You know what I mean? Let's say they average to $80. $80 times 80,000 tickets is $6,400,000 on one event.
well, this goes back to the whole Taylor Swift thing, where yeah, she had an obvious issue with Ticketmaster, and the bots bought up all the tickets, and
The
the
bots.
we ended up with all sorts of issues with tickets getting sold out and kids not being able to go to these concerts. And I mean, WrestleMania is a big deal. It sells out pretty quickly. Sells out major stadiums easily. It's only once a year. It's not like they run WrestleMania 4 nights in every city.
Yeah.
Every city across the nation. It's a one-time event, and there's a lot of people that want to show up to this thing. It's certainly frustrating to be the consumer on the other end, paying service fees, and it's every Tom, Dick, and Harry that wants to go to this show that doesn't, Tom, you're Tom, that
Yeah.
doesn't make a ton of money. They don't have $690 worth of money to shell out in fees to take their son and their friends and whoever, their family, to this WrestleMania event, which is, it's frustrating.
Right. And they like prey on that, like I said, I'm trying to bring my kid. There's a lot of things like in professional wrestling with the fan that wants to, it's a family thing. It's WWE, and like you can bring a kid to it, you bring your friends, and you talk about, like us, we talk about when we grew up with it. My son, who's now 6, will be 6.5 when he like is into it, and so it's like a bond there that you're trying to like, it's just ridiculous, man. And it's once in a life, it comes around every 25 years ago was the last time it was here, and $600 for just the fee. Like, just make the ticket more and the fee less. You know what I mean? I don't know. Then I'd be maybe less pissed off, because it's just this like ridiculous. And the price of the ticket too was out of control. Ugh. Ah. Ah. All right, Tim. So, moving on. Another thing that's frustrating me, Tim, that what really grinds my gears, Timmy.
It's a good segment.
We're gonna be going to the MLS. The MLS, and how I feel like they're fumbling this. Now, you have had a different experience tonight that I think a lot of fans maybe haven't. I don't know if you got lucky. I don't know what was going on. And maybe I'm in the wrong here on how they
Well,
were showing this.
well, let me actually take the lead here, Tom, because
Yeah.
I actually was sending out text messages to a couple of my group chats, and my frustration was I'm a casual soccer fan. I barely watch the MLS. I barely tune into the World Cup. If it's the only sporting event on, I'll throw it on and I'll be maybe half engaged into what's going on. But I knew that Messi was coming into Philadelphia today to play a match. It's been advertised everywhere. I heard it on the radio all day today about Messi coming in and how we should probably pay attention to it because he's one of the all-time great soccer players, right? If you don't know soccer, Messi is one of the greatest soccer players that has probably ever lived, one of the most prolific scorers of all time. So I was like, man, it's probably a good opportunity to see this dude play in Philadelphia. That's kind of cool. I wasn't going to go to the game, but I would definitely check it out and watch it on television. So I start scrolling through all the channels. I see that the game starts at 7 o'clock, and I'm like, it's got to be on ESPN or something, right? It's got to be on maybe a local channel. Maybe it's on Comcast. Maybe it's on channel 17 or something. And I go to research and I start finding out that, oh no, it's going to be on Apple TV. So then I divert to Apple TV. I do have that. And I'm like, all right, I'll just check it out on Apple TV. So I go to check out Apple TV, and right there, it has the Union versus Inter Miami. Messi all over the place, right? Just spot like there's just advertisements all over for it. And I'm like, oh, I guess I can watch the game. Oh no, there's a separate MLS tab, and you have to subscribe to MLS TV for the league pass, which is apparently the entire year.
Yeah.
So, and it costs $15, I think, a month if you want to rent it,
15
or
a
if you want
month.
to subscribe it, and then it's
I
forty
think it's probably
dollars.
15.99 actually, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
and then
60 a month.
it's $40 for the year, and I just was like, this is ridiculous. Like this is one of the biggest stars in all football, soccer, um, and you have to shell out money to Apple TV, which I'm already a subscribed member, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's another $15, $16 to watch Messi play for 90 minutes. Like it's ridiculous. I'm like, how in the world do they get away with this shit? Right. And I go like, you know what? I'm just going to check out the preview of the match because obviously I can't watch it. I'm not going to spend $16 to watch Messi for 90 minutes. It's not worth it. Um, and somehow I was able to bypass the system and I got to watch the game for free. I don't know how I did it. I didn't subscribe to the league pass for MLS because I'm a casual fan. So somehow I must have found a loophole, or maybe they just wanted to showcase that game tonight and they put it on for free. But I was able to watch the first half. The Union got blown out 3-0 in the first half. I think they ended up losing 4-1. But I mean, it was cool watching Messi. He did some cool things, but the fact of the matter is, it's again controlling your audience, right? And you have them over a barrel because it's the best player that you'll ever see, probably grace MLS uniform, and you have to shell out money just to watch it. And casual fans like me aren't going to spend that money,
Right.
and it's just another way. Like, yeah, the service fee. It goes back to the service fee. Hey, we have this amazing product for you, but you're going to have to pay for it, which is frustrating because you should be able to watch these sporting events and things of that nature for free.
Yeah. And an opportunity for a sport that's growing in this country that, they've added Messi, who is this huge name, arguably the greatest soccer player of all time. And you have an opportunity to showcase him in a market of Philadelphia where they just won or they were just in the championship last year. You got young players that want to see this guy, and you can showcase your product and get people in there watching and viewers and all this other stuff. And you fumble it. you piss it away. Now, I don't know what was going on. If someone out there has some information on what exactly, if they were giving this one away for free, okay, well, at least if they're giving this one away for free, then good on them. They're trying to showcase this guy that they have, that they paid all this money for in this league to try to promote the league. Well, how are you going to promote it if you're losing half of your viewers because they don't want to pay for a subscription to some, Apple Plus, whatever? You know what I mean? Get them hooked first, at least, right?
And here's the worst part about it, Tom. Like the MLS is not even a premier league.
Right.
It's a half-ass league. It's not even a great league. So like I don't have to pay for NFL games. Why the hell would I want to pay for, like it doesn't make any sense. I can watch NFL games all day on
Right.
Fox or on CBS, right? And I know you got to subscribe to the NFL Sunday Ticket to watch all the other games. I get it, right? But like that product has value to it. The MLS doesn't have the appeal and the value to, a consumer like myself. So why would I pay money to see that on television when like it's really of no interest or consequence to me unless Messi's playing. So
Right.
it's like a pay-per-view event. Like, I mean, am I going to pay $17 to watch or $16 to watch Messi kick around a ball? No, I'll watch the highlights, whatever, and I'll be done with it.
Right. And the top leagues don't even do it. Now, they have the English Premier League, which is the league that I follow the most. I'm a big Crystal Palace fan. They started the season off 1-0 with a 1-0 victory, 1-0 victory. Crystal Palace Eagles. Okay. So we got the Premier League will have games. They will showcase games on USA on a regular, like a cable television channel or NBC, or you know what I mean? You don't even have to pay for their top games. You
Right,
don't have to pay for the UEFA Champions League game, the
right.
greatest, tournament in the world, next to the World Cup. You don't have to pay for that. So why am I paying for an MLS, Leagues Cup semifinal game? You know what I mean? Like, put it out there so we can watch it, so the kids can watch it, so that the next generation is ready to be super invested into the soccer community and the soccer world, and build up your league. Timmy,
Gotta
final
get
thoughts?
those fees.
Got to get those fees to the agencies.
But I just
Oh
don't
God.
have the time.
I am the entertainer. All right. So, Timmy, let's get something. You know what? Let's go back to something now. A little more lighthearted, a little more my gears were grinded. They've grinded enough. I want to talk about the Philadelphia Phillies, and I know they can be frustrating. So I'm not trying to talk about that. I want to specifically talk about, we record this show on Tuesday nights. Wednesday last week, the Phillies had a game. Timmy, this is one of my favorite regular season Phillies games in my life that I've ever seen. Okay. I don't know. I can't say exactly where it ranks on that list. There's been several great regular season games that I've seen, but it's right up there when I think about it. You had so many magical moments in this, emotional. When I watch the replays, I get teary eyed watching them. The families and just that thought of being able to celebrate with your family like that. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, in the game there was so many things that were going on. Weston Wilson, first Winslow, Weston Winslow, Wilson, Winslow.
Wilson, I
Okay.
think.
Whatever. Forget the name. The guy. He was in the minor leagues for so many years, 28 years old, gets called up to the big show. First game, first at bat, he hits a home run, and they're showing his family going crazy. They're showing his dad, he's crying, everyone's hugging, there's kids, there's family there. Incredible moment. The announcers are going crazy. They're talking about it. Crucker and they're McCarthy,
Tom
they're talking
McCarthy.
about how what a moment. They're right there with him, this and that. Then you got Castellanos, who is 2 home runs away from hitting 200 in his career. His son's there watching the game, cheering on. He hits one home run. Oh, he's a home run closer. This is great. His son's going back and forth. He hits the second home run now, and he hits the 200. No wait, no delay. He's on fire. Then you got a guy that we just signed, first start in Philadelphia, and he goes out there and throws the 14th no-hitter in Philadelphia franchise history. And Timmy, when they're interviewing, and you see his wife and his mom and his baby there, and I'm watching this on the edge of my seat, like, please get this out, get that final inning. It was like, please, please, please get that last out. One more strike, they're saying, whatever. And they're interviewing him afterwards, and they're asking him about, what his father would say. His father had passed away. If you like, dude, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Like, what a freaking game. It was incredible to watch, and just like a magical moment in Philadelphia Phillies history. Like, there was magic at that ballpark, and that is what is the beauty of sports. Am I right?
Yeah, no, it. First of all, I've never been at a no hitter, which sucks. But when that I've been to games when, yeah, they go pretty deep, and yeah, there's like a sudden calm, right, in
Right. Whispers like,
in the
oh man.
crowd. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you look up, he's like, oh shit, he's got, no hits through six. Yeah,
It's
we
gonna
might be.
lead. I'm gonna ask you a question. Keep going, but I'm gonna ask you a question after this.
So yeah, it's one of those moments in baseball, right, which makes the game so special. Okay, uh, and it can provide different emotions throughout the entire game, right? And you get these little intricacies in the stories because a baseball season is so long, right? It could be draining, and you take these little wins, like these little stories, these little anecdotes, right? And you carry them throughout the entire season. Um, and you remember those moments at the end of the year, like why this year was like so special, and you can call back to certain games, and it's a big investment as a fan if you really sit down and watch every single game. It's like, hey, do you remember the no hitter? Right? It's easy to remember the no hitter, but do you remember that dude's, what was his name again, that came up and hit his first home run? I don't know, because he's probably not on the roster ever again, right? So like these little things build up and make what a baseball season is, and you really have to invest in it. Um, and we're starting to really see the Phillies turning it around a little bit, and it's good to see. And there's a lot of good things that are happening. You make this trade for this kid Lorenz, and he comes out and he pitches two of the best games he's ever pitched, right? Almost a complete game shutout in his first outing, and he goes out and throws a no hitter second time out. It's impressive, and yeah, obviously you can't expect that every time he pitches, but it's it's good, right? Everything starts to it's starting to kind of fall in line for the Phillies. They've taken a nice lead in the wild card position. They're in that first spot now. It looks like they just lost right now as we're on air, like we're recording. But I mean, they just lost three in a row, which sucks. But um, yeah, they've seemed to kind of put it together, and also had the standing ovation and all that other stuff that we talked about, right?
Right.
So we're getting all these moments from the Phillies, um, almost to the point where it kind of feels similar to when it kind of turned last year in the Phillies' favor, right towards the end of the season, right? Obviously, they fired their manager, and then they started stringing together some wins, and then they just caught fire towards the end of the season and carried it into the playoffs. And I think that's really what's going to happen here. Now, there's certain aspects of the Phillies that we're starting to leak oil. The bullpen seems to be a little leaky right now, and then the offense has been again inconsistent. The last two games of the homestand, they scored one run, and they go out and they score one run again today. So they scored two runs now in three games. It's like a power outage. This is what happens with these big bats, like this lineup. It's so powerful, but yeah, they all can go in a funk at the same time, and they can all catch fire at the same time, and that's what you have in this type of lineup. But yeah, like that no hitter in that game specifically was really magical. I remember I was actually on the golf course. I came off the golf course, and I think I walked into the clubhouse, and it was like the sixth inning. And I'm looking at the box score, and I'm like, dude, this dude's still pitching a no right now. And I checked his pitch count. I'm like, yeah, well, we might have a shot here. And I turned to my buddy. I'm like, I think we might have to watch the entire game here, or at least until
Well, that leads me to my question, Tim. And first of all, I would say this. One, it's when, as you know, when you go on a championship season and you go and win a championship, there's always these games throughout the regular season in any sport that you look back at and you say, man, that was a game that was kind of like it showed what a magical season this was. Because when you win a championship, it's almost like a magical thing that happens. It doesn't happen very often. It's like the perfect storm. Everything has to happen correctly and whatever. And so this is one of those games that we think about. The player's name, the home run, we were kind of fumbling around, but it was Weston Wilson, like I think we originally said. So my question to you is this, Timmy, when you're there and you're in the sixth inning, you just get done playing golf, you go in at sixth inning, you look at and you see how the inning ends, you look at the box score and you kind of take a double take on the box score and you say, huh. And then you kind of look at your phone and you look at the pitch count and you say, huh. And you say to your friend, I think we have to watch the rest of this game. Now, that's a signal. That's a code to me. What are your thoughts? Do you say, "Hey, is it a violation to say, "Hey, he's got a no-hitter going?" Right? Is that a violation to say that?
No, I don't think it's a violent. Well, look, people are so superstitious, so it depends. What you say and what you do does not affect the game, whether you want to believe it or not. Okay, it's the 9 guys on the field, it's the 11 guys on the field, it's the 5 guys on the court, right? Like nothing you do or say. Because I used to be this guy all the time. I'm like, oh my god, I wore a specific shirt and like I got to wear the same jersey now because they won and I got to keep on wearing that jersey or wear that t-shirt, right? It's not it's not how it works. And you know what's funny too is like I said it to my buddy and go, "Hey man, he's got a no going." And he goes, "He does?" And I go, "Yeah." And then we look up at the TV and right above, if you watch the telecast, right above zero, I forget what the score was. I think it was 8-0 or something like that.
Yeah.
It said no hit watch right above the box. So I mean, if you're
Uh,
going to tell me that I'm violating some sort of superstition like Comcast or NBC Sports, whatever you want to call them, that's a major violation on them for putting that out there, you know?
yeah, it is.
So I hear what you're saying. I don't believe in that. I believe in the players on the field doing it. So if you notice, usually when a pitcher is
The
pitching,
guys stay away from him.
they stay away from him. They don't talk to
Yeah.
him. There's been multiple pitchers that have done multiple no hitters and they don't believe in it sometimes. And they just are like, dude, like I need to be, it's got to be normal for me. So it all depends on the player. But in my opinion, it's weird. In my opinion, I don't think it's superstitious for Tom. If you're bartending to say to a patron, "Oh my God, he's got a no going," and then look, the next hitter that comes up gets a base hit. It's not your fault. It's not because you
Yes,
said
it
it.
is. Yes, it is. Totally your fault.
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel like one, it's your fault. You don't bring it up. You don't say it. I texted a couple friends. I texted our group. I said, you guys watching this Phillies game? Or like kind of like a code, like you guys
Mm.
seeing this game or what's going on? And now I won't say that it's 100%. I've seen enough to see that you start talking about it, you're gonna jinx it, and that's on you. But also, I would say this that using the code is fun to me. You know what I mean? Kind of playing that game of, hey, you real like, hey, so have you looked at this game at all? Have you noticed this? So, like, checked out this thing? Kind of like the subtle hint, like, because not of sometimes a no hitter isn't very obvious to people. You know what I mean? The game's going on, and they've gotten a couple outs, and they got a couple outs, and here and there, and so then, um, whatever. I believe there is some sort of thing out there, but I'm
Tell
not
you
saying
what,
that it's foolproof.
you say one of your favorite yeah moment or favorite games was that game on Wednesday. My sister and my dad were at Roy Halladay's playoff no hitter, probably one of my favorite games to watch. It was incredible to see him finally get into the playoffs. after all those years as being a workhorse for the Blue Jays and then coming over to Philly and being that ace and getting the ball in game one and his first opportunity to pitch in the playoffs and he throws a no hitter. That's special, dude.
Yeah,
That's wild. And I'll always remember that game.
right. And so what were you saying? No hitter every inning, first inning, well, no hitter, second inning, no hitter, third.
I
No.
was. I
No,
was.
you weren't.
I jinxed it, and then the manager got mad. He was like, "You believe Tim Schmidt said something to one of his buddies? He said that Roy was pitching a no hitter in the sixth inning."
Well, what you need is when you got two negatives equal a positive, right? So you need cancellation. Okay.
Yeah,
So when you jinx it, if someone jinxes your jinx, it'll be okay, which is what happened for the game. I jinxed the honorary Jabroni's jinx, and that's how we did it. So
there
the
you
no
go.
hitter, everyone can thank me. So, Timmy, let's keep going with the Philadelphia sports real quick. And another team that's in shambles right now, that's in a mess right now, is the Philadelphia 76ers. Okay? Hold on a second. Can you hold on a second? You know what, guys? I was just interrupted by my wife. She thought it'd be funny to come downstairs, sit on the steps, and stare at me. And this is what I'm talking about. Who's annoying who? You know what I mean? She just
uh,
poking at me like what's the deal? I'm down
that's
here. She
that's
just wants
calc
to come down and stare and say, hmm.
that's calculated, baby.
Oh, here we go.
Uh,
And she's back. The show is just I got things to do. What's up? What's going on?
uh,
Then don't come in the basement when I'm recording.
tell her I said hi.
Tim says
Tell,
hi.
tell her we love you on the show.
Yeah. Shut the door. Anybody
Uh,
out there got a wife that you want to shake the shit out of? Caramba. So, as I was saying, the 76ers, they're in shambles. Kind of like my house right now. The 76ers are in shambles. What's going on? You've got James Harden yesterday saying he'll never play for a team that Morey is the general manager of. They used to be friends, and now there was back and forth and some trades, and they're off the trading block, but he's really still on the trading block. And now Joel Embiid has removed everything Sixers from all of his social media profiles, this and that. Timmy, I'm done with them. I'm done with Harden. I'm done with Embiid. I'm tired of them. The fake ass MVP and all this BS. I'm sick of it. You talk a big game and everyone's like, oh, Joel is such a Philly guy. And he pandered to the best of them and he did a great job. But guess what? I'm tired. Enough of the pandering. Win. He doesn't win. You want to leave? Go ahead and leave. See ya. We got an organization that doesn't know how to run a freaking team. They've been shit for I don't know how long. We haven't been to the finals since what, 2001? 22 years. And we're supposed to be we were one of the best basketball cities in the world. And we can't get to past the second round. We tanked. We got these players in. We ruin every player that we bring in that's supposed to be good. We can't pick the correct player, apparently. We got a bunch of soft frauds on our team that we pay gazillion dollars to. This team stinks. Their players stink. They can leave all of them. See ya. I'm done with you. Sixers, peace. I'll tune in next year. But do you understand what I'm saying?
yeah, now as a basketball enthusiast, it's sad to see the state of the Sixers because they've had the pieces and now they have Maxi and like you're in such a good spot, but you just got Harden at the wrong time. He's just not the guy that you thought he was going to be. And like, shame on him for thinking he's going to get some sort of major contract after the shit that he put up in the freaking playoffs, man. Like, hey, how about perform once in a while in the goddamn playoffs? Same thing with Joel Embiid. How about show up
In
in a
game
playoff
7
game? How
against
about
the Celtics.
like it's just so ridiculous the shit that they left out in the court in game 7. And now we're dealing with all the bullshit, all these athletes that just think that they can run uh, an organization into the ground, which they're going to do. Harden's going to hold out. He's going to make everything uncomfortable for the Sixers. And then Embiid and I see PJ Tucker is now he's supporting his buddy and James Harden. So now you got 3 of the guys that are starting for you that are making most of the money on the goddamn team that essentially aren't. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's just a mess. And you know what? This goes back to Daryl Morey too. This was your idea to bring this guy onto the team. So whatever promise that you may have made to James Harden, make it right, dude, or figure it the hell out, or get him out of the goddamn city, dude. Because I'm tired of it. Like, our team is now being held hostage by James Harden, which he's done to 3 other teams, by the way. This is the 3rd team he's done it to. I mean, who would have thought that this is the direction that this was going to happen, right? Like, how now you're getting me fired up.
Yeah, dude, I'm with you. And I even think above Maury, this organization, the ownership, jokes, they're terrible. This team
Well,
is a
they're so
laughing
busy.
stock.
They're so busy buying other franchises. They bought the New Jersey Devils. They just went and bought the Washington Commanders. It the focus obviously isn't here from ownership. I mean, I believe that Daryl Morey wants to do right by the Sixers. I do believe that, but you're obviously stepping in shit left and right. You're not right. You're not making the right moves. There's nobody that's going to want Harden right now.
Right. He's a bum
I mean, you can't.
for that money.
It's not that he's a bum. He just.
But for that
Why
pay
would
that
you?
he wants,
Why
no
would you
way.
bring? Why would you bring him on your team? He already opted into the deal. He's already opted in, so that's what you're getting when you trade him, right? You're already getting, his salary, right? Whatever that is. I don't even know what the dollars are, but I mean, it was his idea to opt in after the year. He opted in with the idea that he was going to get traded for whatever reason. Why did he want to get traded? I don't know, but um, it, it sucks because now that we thought that we were on the cusp of a championship. You were 1 game away from getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, possibly, right?
Yeah.
Getting out of the second round, and now it's like we're hitting the nuclear button thing, and it's going to fucking go off. And Embiid's going to want to go out of here. The only thing you're going to be
See
able to
ya
hold on,
later.
the only thing you're going to hold on to is Maxi.
Dude, what I would
And,
give to have Jimmy Butler and Maxey right now and just those 2 guys. You know what I mean? And be done with these and like just try to build a team around them. I mean, like at least you got guys that are giving you the effort, all the
Embiid,
effort that they can.
listen, Embiid's a generational talent, but like when you see what happens in the playoffs with this guy, I mean, he's like a carbon copy of Harden. He just doesn't deliver.
Right.
Like he's
And I'll blame the coaching and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's on him. You know what I mean? Make it happen, dude. You want to talk this talk like the MVP and all this other BS. Guess what? The guy that won the last 2 MVPs and all the people were saying he should have never won them just went out and won an NBA championship. That's what he did. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So deliver, deliver, big mouth. Come out here and freaking make it happen, or else shut the front door. All right. And Harden, you're a joke. What a thief you are, holding teams hostage like this. Am I crazy, Tim? Should we
No,
move
you're
on?
not. No, I'm fired up because it's frustrating because I used to look forward to watching the Sixers, and you know what? The last couple of years, it's like, what's the point of even paying attention to the regular season? Because they're going to end up they're going to be in the top 3 seed, and they're going to get to the playoffs, right? And you hear all the bullshit during the season. It's like, whatever, it's over and done with. Like, let's just get to the playoffs. And like it's like Sixers fans they're so run down right now. They don't even care. Like, they've been through so much with the process and getting out of the process and then bringing on all these other guys. It just, to your point, like, you keep on drafting guys like Markel Fultz that has, a mental block, and Ben Simmons,
Simmons.
who turns into an absolute shit show. You trade the number 1 pick overall to get You know, Markel Fultz and the guy that you traded him for is one of the top 10 players in the NBA right now, and Jason Tatum. It's like you keep on zigging when you should have zagged, and this franchise would have been in such better shape if you just had the right people in place to make the right decisions. And we're sitting here now in August of 2023 thinking that, by this time we would have had at least a championship with Embiid, and the whole thing can blow up in your face. And then the people that used to say, hey, the process doesn't work, guess what? They were right. They
Yeah.
were right. And it's a shame because, like there was just so much momentum with that whole movement, and it felt like it was the right way to do it. And look at us now. It's just we're the laughing stock of the NBA.
Yeah, and the biggest fault of the worst part of the whole thing is you got the best fans in the world ready to go nuts at the freaking Sixers game. We showcased our fandom last year with the Phillies in the playoffs, and we just are dying for the Sixers to actually be a winner so that when we win, we can celebrate with the team and it can be magical in that freaking arena. And we're never going to get the opportunity because we can't pick the right players. We got fake ass freaking phonies that are acting like they're worth billions of
I
dollars
feel
and
I
they
feel
can't do
bad.
nothing.
I feel bad. You just brought in Nick Nurse as the head coach, and Nick Nurse has just inherited just a shitstorm.
Yeah.
It's like what he's probably like. All right, now what?
Yeah, right. I
What
just
I
left one
just
in Toronto where I had nobody and I thought I was coming to the Sixers. Yeah. Jesus, I didn't even think about Nick Nurse. Golly, that stinks for him. I mean, and I think he's a good coach. And that's part of the reason where like at some of the time with Embiid and his shortcomings and coming up short in the playoffs, and obviously Harden has a crazy track record of it. You think, okay, we were blaming Doc. Maybe it's Doc Rivers, and he was the king of choking. He's the most choke coach that choked more than anyone in the freaking history of choking. And now you got all right. We got Nick Nurse. This guy has made it happen. He seems to develop players well and get the best out of them. And now we got this shit with Maury. I mean, this organization is just awful, awful. And I will say something, Timmy. I want to give some kudos to Jeffrey Lurie because you know what? Since he's come over and taken over the Eagles, we've been contenders. He turned this franchise around. Like we've always are in the hunt year after year after year. We're going to playoff games, championship games, Super Bowls, this and that. I know we haven't won the Super Bowl a ton, but we did get the win. But like the Sixers are a complete opposite of that, you know? And same with the Flyers. I mean, it's just like figure like why do we have such a problem with these teams? And like the fan like we showcased last year, people want to come play here because when you're winning here, there's no place better to win. I'm telling you. Whatever. I'm just annoyed by it. Eh, whatever. Speaking of annoying, Tim, I was at work the other day, right? And before I went to work, we got a delivery. We my son's 6. He's starting school in a couple weeks, and we thought let's get him a desk for his room. So my wife was at Ikea. She saw a desk, or she was online, and she ordered this desk to be delivered to the house. The desk gets delivered. Tom, you carry this.
mistake.
Yeah. And I'd carry it upstairs. I put it in his room. I had to go to work. And so I figured it'll be in his room when I get home from work. I will come home and put this thing together. No, 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 no. My wife,
Nana.
being the wonderful, patient woman that she is, decided she was going to put this desk together herself. Well, that turned into I'm going to put this desk together like a third of the way, put stuff in the wrong place, not use the instruction manual and just kind of see if I can figure this out, and then leave all the parts out for daddy to take care of when he comes home. I came home, there's screws and bolts and Allen wrenches and all this shit, hammers lying all over the place. A desk that's like a third of the way put together. I see a drawer that's in upside down. I said, okay. I see a little like screw hanging out. I was like, I don't think that's supposed to be there. I had to go through the instruction manual. Timmy, you
She
thought,
might as well. She might as well have gone a third of the way through and lit the instructions on fire and said, Have at it, Tom.
Yeah, that would have been, she said, how can this annoying IKEA desk, how can I make it more difficult? You know what I'll do? I'll start to put it together, but not put things in the right spots. And then I'll just leave it laying around. So when he comes home, he can try to figure it out, which I did, by the way.
There you go.
Timmy, have you had the fun of putting together some IKEA furniture? Have you ever done that?
Tom, not only did I have the fun of
The
doing that,
privilege.
the privilege, I moved to Cincinnati in 2011, and I furnished my entire apartment via IKEA. And I also had my father help me put the entire apartment together of furniture. He was pissed.
How did that?
Dude. Oh my
Oh my
God.
God. How did you get through that? Now your dad just turned 80. So
Yeah.
you're what was this 20 years? So he was a
No,
60-year-old man, maybe
no,
helping.
it was yeah, about 13 years ago.
Oh my God.
12, 13 years. Yeah, it's 12 years ago. And so I'm like, yeah, I got this promotion, moved out to Cincinnati, and I'm like, I'm going to furnish my apartment. I'm like, it's going to be great. And I'm like walking through IKEA, like, yeah, it's going to be like I'm some sort of like interior decorator, right?
This will be
Like,
great for the sunroom.
yeah, yeah,
Ooh, I need that end table right there.
yeah,
That'll be
yeah.
perfect.
So he he didn't help me move out because like I drove out by myself, and then like he came like the next weekend. And I'm like, Dad, like, I got all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, you can help me put it together. He's like, great. It's all, and like, my dad loves a home project. He used to love doing all that stuff. I've never, it was a Saturday. I remember I had college football on the whole day. And like, he was never more frustrated in his life. Like, I thought it would have been, yeah, to that day would have put him in the grave, dude.
Wow. I
And
get
he
it.
and he's a guy that can overcome things too. Like he'll if
He's a
something doesn't
Vietnam vet. Yeah.
if something doesn't work, dude, he'll go, I'll just use a screw and screw it in, right? Like that. If he's missing a piece, he'll figure out how to like fasten it, right? So it was just a day from hell. If you want if you want a day from hell, you order an entire apartment full of furniture from IKEA. I'll tell you what, though, the end of the day, when we had the entire apartment together, it's like, did you ever see the scene from Home Alone 2 where Marv he falls through the hole and then he builds that like leaning tower of
Yeah.
like appliances to get himself out of the hole, and he's
Yeah.
like proud of it. That's like how me and my dad were at the end. We're like, yes, we got it done.
Look what we've created.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Uh what a day from hell though. It's just the way it's put together. And you know what? You should know. Shame on us for doing it because we know the horror stories. We know what we're getting ourselves into. It's a little bit cheaper. Yeah, you're saving money on the quality of product, right?
Right.
It's just a fucking nightmare.
I will say this though, Tim. There's been a lot of talk of the quality of IKEA, and I think if put together correctly, I mean, it's not worse than a lot of things that I've purchased in the past, you know what I mean? But, you know, I have like they say when you go to try to move it, it starts to fall apart, you know what I mean?
There's
So, I don't
all
know.
sorts of like anchors and like little weird like things that you've never seen in a toolbox ever before. Like, what the
Right.
fuck is what am I using this for? It's
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah, they have like the little circle thing that like so you put in a screw and there's like a knob on the end of it and then there's a circle thing that you put in there and then you twist that and that's what holds it. I don't know.
no,
Either
I got
way,
it's like you don't go like, oh, I got three extra of these. Now I can use it for my other, tools that you know what I mean, or like I
Yeah,
can put that. I've been hoping to find one of these. It's not like any of that.
right. It's not made for anything but the IKEA product. You could maybe save them for putting together another IKEA
You can tell
object.
you can tell that we have plenty of like carpentry experience with the two of us because we
Yeah.
we know
I
all
was
the
like the
names.
knob looking thingy, and you're like, yeah.
We're both so handy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, you get the twisty thing on with the knob, and it gets in the thing, and you're like, yeah, we got all these thingamabobbers here that I could save, but I can't use them for any of the doohickeys that I got to put together with the other stuff. Oh, God. All right, Timmy. Last but not least, we had a big weekend and a big shout out to maybe a future guest, the
Oh,
love from the glove.
yeah,
Timmy, you were
form.
down a day at the Bay, and this is a big event for your alma mater, the high
Mhm.
school that you went to. Roman has a huge following. I think they said over 1,400 people at this event, Day at the Bay. It's the biggest it's been, the 30th anniversary of this. You ran into a bunch of friends. Timmy, give us tell us about the event, maybe where it was at, how things went, your
Well,
overall thoughts.
first off, Roman Catholic is the oldest high school, boys high school, Catholic boys high school in the country. 1890 was when it was established. It's been an all boys Catholic high school for obviously since its inception. And they have one of the biggest followings in terms of like alumni, right? Like the alumni just always come back. They always give, which keeps the community and the school thriving at Roman Catholic. And every year, unfortunately, Hallahan, which is the sister school of Roman Catholic, closed down a couple of years ago due to enrollment. But we used to this event is called the Day at the Bay. It's the annual gathering of Roman and Hallahan down at in Wildwood. Most people are on vacation, but if you're not on vacation, you're able to go down and reconnect with alumni. And there's all sorts of raffles and ways to raise money for the alumni to keep the school thriving. So it's a cool opportunity to reconnect with a lot of classmates and people that you may have gone to school with, and then just like coaches and other players that you may played sports with, and it's a cool community because everyone is so friendly and they know each other, and it's a good day to just really reflect on the time that you spent at one of the best high schools in my opinion in the area, and you meet certain people. Last year I met my girlfriend that I'm currently seeing now. So like you have different avenues, right? Like that you can go down, right? You reconnect with people from years in the past, and it's just a cool day. And they moved it to a Saturday, which is really it used to be on a Sunday
I was gonna
down
say
the
I
shore.
thought it used to be on a Sunday, and I wasn't positive, but I did think that this year. I was like, oh, Saturday?
Yeah, so they moved it from the first weekend in August to the second weekend of August, which is perfect for me because I don't have my kids on that second weekend, and I'm able to get down there and again see the people that I haven't seen in years, and connect with old teachers and coaches and friends and all that stuff. So it's just a good event. It's at the Seaport Pier, right on the water. It's a great event, man. And when you have such a loyal alumni group, they show out and they show up, and it just makes the event even better. Live entertainment, live music all day, and drink specials and raffle giveaways and all that stuff. And you get a couple days down the shore too when it comes with it. But it's just yeah, sometimes the event can get a little nuts because it's only like a 4 hour event, but it turns into an all nighter because some of those people that you haven't seen in a long time like to indulge, and
Yeah.
sometimes carries over a little bit. And
You're having a good time, and the times just keep rolling.
yeah, man. So yeah, great event, great event. and yeah, looking forward to it next year. But um, yeah, that's it.
All right, awesome. Hey, you know what? Speaking
Oh,
what?
I also, ran into a famous alumni, as you mentioned. You put it up on our story.
Oh, yes. The love from the glove.
Yeah, Mr. Jeff Adamo, who, if you haven't seen, has been doing his little thing. He's been going out doing food reviews, and yeah, we had some conversation, and he's he's interested in coming on the show and just letting us pick his brain and give him a couple of interviews and seeing what he's all about. He kind of retired for a little bit, and it seems like he's put things together to come back out of retirement and start doing his food reviews again. So the love from the glove. That's the guy that we might bring on the show to talk about what he's up to and what's coming next for his brand.
Dare I say, I'd love to have him on the show, and I'm excited about that. He actually shared that one of our clips onto his story. I think he's excited about being on the show and looking forward to having him on the show.
Maybe him and the Godfather of Meat together.
What? Maybe. We'll see. But so this is gonna wrap up another amazing episode of Schmidt Lavelle. Next week, I think we're gonna be getting to our cereal draft for people of you that are out there that have been following us. You've seen we had a couple comments about the cereal video that we had put up. We'll be doing that and other things moving forward. If you like what we're doing, please give us a like, a share, a subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family. The show is growing. We've been getting a lot of good feedback on it, and we could use your help in telling people that may not know about us to tune in. At least check out our clips that we put up. You know, little 30-second clips that'll make you laugh, maybe cry, fall in love. Who knows?
Not cry.
Timmy, anything you'd like to say to the Schmidt Lavellites out there?
Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.
Amen. Next week,